you by Bible Way Media, overseen by the elders of the Chipman Road Church of Christ in Lee Summit, Missouri.
Thank you for joining me today here on Studies in Christian Evidences. This podcast is designed for elementary age children. Thank you for listening. Our memory verse for this week is still Genesis chapter 1, verse 31. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. Thank you for joining me today as we look at the topic of what God has done. On May 24th, 1844, Samuel Morse, who invented the telegraph system and Morse code, sent the very first telegraph message from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore, Maryland. This message consisted of a brief quotation from Numbers 23:23, "What hath God wrought?" or "Oh, what God has done," as we see in the New King James. Samuel Morse boldly testified to what everyone should understand. Design demands a designer. Morse's code and the telegraph system were the immediate effects of a designer, Samuel Morse. But the grand designer is God, who created Mr. Morse and every material thing that Samuel Morse used to invent his telegraph system. Samuel Morse recognized this marvelous self-evident truth. Should we not recognize it as well, especially in the view of the amazing creatures that inhabit the earth? Indeed, nature testifies loudly to what God has worked. In truth, the whole earth is full of his glory. Isaiah 6:3. He who built all things is God. Hebrews 3 and verse 4. Scientists estimate that 4 out of every 10 species of insects are beetles, including click beetles, dung beetles, rhinoceros beetles, lady beetles, and boll weevils. In one sense, the beetles are common creatures, that is, they are commonly seen creatures. But don't think of them as unremarkable animals. Beetles do some exceptional things that testify to a grand designer. Consider, for example, the bombardier beetle. What is so special about this little bug? Well, this beetle, is a ticking time bomb. No, the bombardier beetle does not have explosives tied to its back. It doesn't carry around a miniature stick of dynamite, nor are its insides full of nitroglycerin, the explosive liquid present in dynamite and other explosives. What does a bombardier beetle possess that makes it so unique? This little bug has tiny glands in its body that hold 2 harmless chemicals known as hydroquinones and the more familiar hydrogen peroxide. The bombardier beetle secretes these chemicals into a kind of holding area or storage tank. Then, if the beetle senses danger and is agitated by an attacker, it quickly moves the chemicals from one storage tank into yet another chamber, which could be called the explosion chamber. In this compartment, the beetle secretes special catalyst enzymes into the once harmless chemical mixture, making a toxic spray that reaches 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius, the temperature at which water boils. Amazingly, the beetle doesn't blow up. It doesn't develop a high fever and die. The noxious spray doesn't eat through the chamber walls and kill the beetle. No, the beetle sizes up its attacker and quickly rotates 2 rear nozzles at the end of the explosion chamber so that they point in the direction of the attacker. The bombardier beetle then fires the boiling hot mixture toward the enemy with pinpoint accuracy in a high-speed machine gun-like fashion at about 500 rounds or pulses of toxic spray per second. Evolutionists allege that this amazing insect is a product of millions of years of evolution. Can you imagine the evolution of a bombardier beetle? If this theory were true, then there had to have been a time when the bombardier beetle did not produce a toxic spray. There had to be a time when it didn't store a 212-degree mixture. There had to be a time when it had never shot anything out of its back end as hot as boiling water. If so, what would have happened the first time the beetle evolved the ability to mix a boiling hot solution without already having a storage tank in place that could withstand such temperatures? What would have happened the first time this beetle ever blew a bomb out of its back end? Why did the beetle not blow up the first time it ever created a bomb? The answer, because the bombardier beetle did not evolve by time and chance and unintelligent natural processes over millions of years. Common sense calls for a creator who made this insect with all its necessary parts in place at the same time at creation. The amazing defense mechanism of the bombardier beetle declares the glory of God and defies the theory of evolution. Thank you for listening today to Christian Evidences.
We thank you for joining us today. We hope you have enjoyed this program. You can find out more about Byway Media by visiting us at bywaymedia.org. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find all of our podcasts on all major podcast platforms. As always, we thank you for listening.